Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today is April 20th, 2020. And the latest is that we are working on planting a garden in our apartment. I'll get into some of the reasons that we're going to be doing that in a second. But first we need to pick up some packages that were just delivered to our neighborhood so that we can get this project started.
Alright, so let's talk about this garden. Now, why are we planting a garden? Actually, it's been something that's been kind of in the works or in the plans for a while now. We've had this idea of using this space here on our back patio area to plant a small garden. But I think recently, because of some of the things that have been happening and some of the news that's coming out, it's being done more out of necessity than just as a hobby, something to kill time. If you've seen the latest news on the economy here in China regarding the first quarter GDP of China, then you will probably have the same feeling that I do, that this is going to be an unprecedented time of some economic turmoil coming up. This is the first time in over 40 years that China has actually had a contracting of the economy. So that causes some concerns. Obviously around us there is a lot of businesses that are closing up, a lot of people are losing their work, and a lot of people who still have their work are concerned that there won't be work for them in the coming months and weeks. So as that transpires, it's going to mean that there's a big impact on our income here. My income has already reduced by about 2/3, so I'm making about 1/3 of what I was before, and we're spending a lot less, so we're okay, but we want to definitely try to save money. But that's just one side of the coin. The other side is that there are some, I think, very legitimate concerns about food shortages that may be hitting us and affecting us sooner than later. We have friends that are involved in import and export and logistics and whatnot, and many of them are very concerned with the food situation here, because although the supermarkets currently are stocked and you can get everything, it seems that that will not last for very long. So it could be that because of import and export, a lot of those things will slow down, and it also could mean that some of the local areas are not able to keep up with the produce, the fruits and vegetables that we rely on. So for these reasons as well, we both thought it's a good idea to go ahead and start a garden. So we don't have a lot of space here, but we're going to attempt to grow a few vegetables, and we're going to try to catalog that experience for you. Now, I'm not a gardener. I don't really have a green thumb. So recently I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, reading a lot of articles on how to plant by season, how to transport or transplant sprouts and all that stuff. So we've started a few seedlings, and I'm going to share that with you today, and then we'll just update as time goes on and some things that we've learned and whatnot. But before we do any of that, I'm going to build the planter because it just came in, and that was the thing I was picking up at the locker there. So we're going to put that together, and then we'll talk about the plants that we've got ready to go. So that was relatively painless. It would have been nice to have an instruction manual, but it wasn't too hard to figure out. So the reason I went with this setup is that these are modular, which is really, really nice. If you make something out of wood, it's heavier, but also you can't really take it apart and add levels to it and whatnot. But this one you can. I really like the fact you can just slide things in and all the pieces fit together. So it's kind of like building a little Lego set. So really practical. It's lightweight, plastic. It was very cheap. This cost me about $15, maybe $20 for the entire set. So very inexpensive. And one thing you probably saw from the time lapse is that the water goes through the panels at the bottom, and then it sits in a reservoir. So the nice thing about that is the plants aren't sitting in water, so it's kind of like a little bit of drainage. And if you need to actually get the water out completely, there's these little plugs at the bottom you can open, and the water will drain out. So that's a really nice setup. I'm hopeful. I think this will do the trick. The only thing we're worried about here is the sunlight. We've been watching the sun really carefully the last couple days, and we had this plastic stuff on the windows. You can't see it here because we already took it off, but we put that up there as like a privacy shield, because without it, the neighbors, which are right across the way, can see right in our house. So we had that up for about a year or so, but we took that down because we need more light, and we'll have to take it down from the top part of the window as well. But we are a little concerned with the sunlight. I know things like tomatoes need lots and lots of sun to grow, so that's going to be definitely trial and error just to see what actually grows. But we'll show you what we've got here set up. The first thing is we've got some bell peppers. So originally we had wanted to separate the 3 different kinds of bell pepper seeds, the yellow bell peppers, the red, and the green bell peppers, but we mixed them up, so we don't know what we're going to get here. Probably a little bit of each, but we'll see how that goes. So Moa was in charge of this. This is her baby, the peppers, bell peppers. We also got cucumbers here. Of course, you can't see anything here. We just did the seedlings yesterday. We just put them in the soil, so it's going to be a little while before we see any sprouts there. We've also got a tomato plant. This is the one we're most concerned with the sunlight, but the tomato will go in this big bin because tomatoes need a lot more space for the root system. And then we've also got some strawberries, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not super hopeful on this, but we'll see. We'll have to put a little trellis up so those strawberries have something to grow onto along with the tomatoes. And then finally, we've got this. This just came in the mail today. This is a basil plant. So you can see this is the seedling that's already sprouting. So we're going to put this in one of our other pots, keep it separate from the vegetables, and hopefully we'll have some fresh basil to put on salads and spaghetti and pasta and pizzas and things like that. So I'm not a gardener, as I said. I don't really have a green thumb. So if you're watching this and you have some suggestions for me, please let me know in the comments, because I want to learn as much as possible. We're figuring out things to do with making our own fertilizer, using things like coffee grounds and grinding up eggshells, and also doing things like possibly making a small compost heap out in the front walkway. We have a walkway outdoors. We're a little worried about the smell, though, for that. So we'll see how it goes. I think Coco wants to say hi. I don't think I've introduced Coco yet, but this is one of our cats. We have 2, and her name is Coco. So she's very curious about what's going on here. So yeah, this is it. This is going to be the first video of hopefully a series, but we'll see how this goes. We're really hoping to get some, a nice vegetable yield out of this, and thereby reducing some of our costs, but also having some food to eat in case there are shortages with the supply. So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.